Well, hello there, fellow witches. I hope that you're having an awesome day so far and that this Saturday just gets better and better and better for you. Today we're going to talk a little bit about crystals and crystal grids. There is a heck of a lot of information, so we're going to start off basic, and then as we go on with more videos, we'll go more and more in depth. Using crystals is not just a new age or a neo-pagan practice. It comes from way back when. It can be traced all the way back to the Egyptians. They had a lot of lapis lazuli, turquoise, clear quartz, carnelian, emeralds, and they used these not only for their magical properties but also for decorative uses. According to Plato, in his account of Atlantis, he mentions crystal healing. According to him, the Atlanteans used crystals to read minds and to transmit thoughts. The first historical documentation of crystals occurred from the ancient Sumerians, BC 4500 to 2000 BC. The Sumerians used crystals in their magical formulas. So you can see it goes like way, way back when. The ancient Greeks assigned a multitude of properties to crystals. The word crystal is derived from the Greek word kristallos, which translates to ice. The ancient Greeks believed that clear quartz crystals were a water that had been frozen to the point where it would remain in its solid form. I find that quite interesting because if you don't know any different, it would make perfect sense to you that it's water, it's clear, but it's solid and it's not going to change. Kind of like with glass actually being a liquid instead of a solid. If you go to very, 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 very old places that have glass windows, you can see the glass at the bottom of the window pane is thicker than at the top. The word amethyst in ancient Greek language means not intoxicate. Amethyst was worn as an amulet that they believed would aid hangovers and prevent intoxication. Across cultures, different stones can symbolize or provide aid for different things. An example is rose quartz. In Egypt, it was believed rose quartz could prevent aging, but the Romans used rose quartz as a seal to signify ownership. While in the Middle Ages, it was used in healing potions. Today, rose quartz is known as the love stone and is used to balance emotions and heal anger and disappointment. The next thing we're going to talk about is crystal grids. Okay, so crystal grids. Number one, what is the purpose? The purpose is absolutely anything that you want. Absolutely anything that you need. You can do a crystal grid for healing. You can do crystal grids for energy flow. You can do crystal grids for money work, for manifestation work. Geez, the possibilities are absolutely endless. Any different crystal that you can get that has some of the other property, you can make a crystal grid to emphasize that energy, to make it have a little more oomph than just the crystal itself. You can create a crystal grid choosing any kind of crystal you want, as I said, and with a crystal grid you're going to put the crystals or lay them out in a geometric pattern. The designs for crystal grids can be as basic as putting a ring of clear quartz around a pink rose quartz to emphasize the love that you're looking to draw. It can get really, really complicated. Here's some examples. It can be extremely complicated and very detailed. Some of my favorite designs are pentacles and the flower of life. So I did some crystal work during the week to help push along my queries to the tax authorities to please pay me my refund that is due to me from taxes that I overpaid. So here's my crystal grid. It's green crystals and clear quartz, and I'm hoping that it's going to help push through some good energy and to get my refund processed quicker and, well, hopefully sometime during this week. It's obviously always better to have an intention of something that you need rather than you want, but I believe that if you want something, you should ask for it. Crystal grids can also be used as decor in any space. It's really pretty, some of these layouts. You get some gorgeous ones. Okay, let's do a step-by-step guide to creating a crystal grid. It's important that your crystals are cleansed and charged. Tomorrow night is full moon, so we can happily go and cleanse all our crystals again. Nice new sparkly moon power all over them. I like leaving mine out for 24 hours so that they can get some sun. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, what do you do when it's raining? Well, I put the crystals that don't mind water, I put them outside and I have them in a little tub or a nice pretty bowl, and it fills up with the rainwater. And rainwater on full moon, in my opinion, is moon water. I will then leave it out for the next day as well during the daylight. If it's still overcast, then it's going to be sun water. Also, the times I've gotten sunburned the absolute worst was during cloudy days, because you think to yourself, meh, it's cloudy, no sun, not gonna burn. But the UV rays still get through and you get burnt to a crisp. Cleansing the crystals, as I'm going to be doing tonight. As I said, I put them outside in the sun and in the moonlight and then in the sun, and that helps to cleanse them. Then to charge them, I will pass them through smoke over a flame, not too close to the flame, you don't want to damage your crystal, and rinse them in clean water, preferably rainwater or moon water, and then I'll dip them into salt, and then they're nice and charged with all the different energies. A lot of people do go and hold the crystal in your hand for a while and charge it with the intention that you need, but I prefer doing that right before I do crystal work, so that energy and that charge is particularly related to what I'm doing. Crystal grids don't just have to involve crystals. I've seen some beautiful crystal grids with some flowers, pine cones. I've seen beautiful ones with pine cones. Okay, granted, they were little pine cones, but it looked amazing. Maybe I should do one for Christmas. Do a crystal grid for harmony over Christmas. That could be cool. That's definitely an idea. The final step is to activate your grid. Once you've laid out all your crystals and whatever else you'd like to add, and you've laid them out in the pattern, what I sometimes do for the pattern is I'll print it out and then lay my crystals on top of it. So the final step then, once you've laid out your crystals and you're happy with how it is and how big it is, and you don't want to add more, when you're happy that it's finished, the next is to activate your grid. I use my selenite wand for this, and I connect the dots from one crystal to the next, and I keep going until they're all part of this shape that I've drawn with my selenite wand. And that activates the grid because it helps the flow of the energy around the crystals. And then I will normally point the wand up into the sky once I'm done, and that will send my energies into the universe, and hopefully they get where they need to be. Not hopefully, they will get there. You have to be confident in your workings, because confidence puts pure intent in. And when pure intent is gone into something, it stands a much better chance of coming true or happening, or if it's healing, it stands a better chance of that healing power being stronger. Pure intent and affirmations are incredible in working with energies. With the crystals that'll get damaged with water, those I place in a windowsill so that they still get the full moon, but that they don't get damaged. Full moon, I'm going to read this little piece. I'm not 100% sure where I got it from, so if it's yours, please let me know and I'll make a note for you. Well, I'll put in a thank you note for you. The full moon is also a powerful time to release or acknowledge anything that no longer serves you. So, while it's important to set intentions with the crystals you have been cleansing, you may like to also include a ritual during this potent time to make the most of the full moon's energy. You could light a candle, write down some of the things you are letting go of or wanting to move on from, and then burn the paper you wrote it on and return the ashes to earth. Make sure you do this outside or in a fireproof container. Safety first. This practice is powerful in that it can help to clear away the old, to make room for the new that you are manifesting by setting intentions with your crystals. As always, trust your own intuition and what feels right for you. Let's talk a little bit about crystal shapes. This is something that I find isn't talked about nearly enough because you get so many different shapes and each one is going to have different properties based on those shapes. If I have a round piece of selenite that's nicely tumbled and nice and smooth and clean and a little round ball, that's going to have a very different energy to my selenite wand, which has a sharp point and a rounded back and is obviously quite a bit longer. So just like the colors of the crystals make a difference, the shape of the crystal is also going to make a difference. Crystal shapes can help to amplify your intention and your experience with them, says Heather Askinosi, I think that's how I pronounce it, crystal expert, co-founder of Energy Muse and author of Crystal 365. Choosing a crystal shape that pairs well with your intention will enhance and magnify your transformation. Below, a few experts weigh in to help demystify the different crystal shapes, what they mean, and how to use them. It is great intel to note next time you find yourself roaming the shelves of a metaphysical shop in search of a new crystal or simply perusing your own crystal collection. Okay, so the first shape that we're going to look at is cubes. I haven't actually seen too many cube crystals. I think because of the structure of the crystals, it doesn't lend itself well to being a cube. I'd imagine the corners will break off quite easily unless it's something like clear quartz, which is really, really hard. But I'd imagine that the corners will break off really easily, so it's not something that I would really use or go for. Pyramids, I love crystal pyramids. Once again, the corners are very sensitive to being knocked or something. I've lost a pyramid crystal because the one corner broke off. But I find that if I'm gentle with them and I keep them in a safe space, that they do last long enough. Crystal pyramids are said to be powerful for manifesting your desires. Their strong base acts as an anchor for your intention. The apex of the pyramid sends the intention out into the universe, while a self-serving stack of cash you want to manifest or to send out to the collective, pyramid crystals will take you to that next level. Spheres, I have an obsession with spheres. I absolutely love crystal spheres, and not because it's a crystal ball. I love the energy that's in them. It's whole, it's round, it's wholesome, it's beautiful. It holds energy so beautifully and so strong. Because they have like a Zen vibe to them, they're also great meditation buddies. I find holding them in my hands while I'm busy meditating helps a lot to keep grounded while I'm meditating so that I don't go floating off into space. Tumbled stone, for most of us, our starting stones were tumble stones, and they're absolutely beautiful because yes, they've been smoothed and tumbled and now they're all shiny and smooth, but they still have a bit of their original shape. And to me, that's very helpful in working with the crystal because it's more natural, if that makes sense. Some may call them basic, but I call them practical. Amber Lee Lins says. Tumble stones are also great because you can slip them into your pocket or into your handbag and take them wherever you want with you. Crystal points. These are crystals that have a point, obviously. They're great for directing energies, and I also enjoy them in my crystal grids because it helps push that energy of that crystal grid out into the universe. Basic crystal grid. Really basic. Write on a piece of paper your intention, put it under a point crystal, and there you go. It'll push your intent out into the universe. Clusters. I'm not a big fan of clusters because I find the energy a bit hectic. Because the points are all pointing in totally different directions and all over the place, I find it very difficult for me to center the energy and then send it out uniformly. Maybe if it's something like healing after a earthquake, or healing after a tsunami, or whatever, where you want different energies and you want it to go absolutely everywhere to the affected areas, then I would use a crystal cluster. But otherwise, if it's something that I have a single intent and a single goal to have this to work with, then I don't normally go for my clusters. With regards to the full moon tomorrow night, I hope that you have a lovely, fulfilling, full, glorious day, and that the moon shines down on you brightly, and that you have a great waning moon, and I will chat to you next week. Blessings have been given, blessings have been received. May the love of the Lord and Lady remain forever in our hearts. So mote it be.